Ladies and gentlemen, TEDx is an international movement and global phenomenon that is anchored on ideas worth spreading. Last year saw the launch of TEDx George right here in our community. Group editors sat down with Marshall Grant, the TEDx George organizer, to speak about the 2025 event themed Shift. But before we get to that, here are a couple speaker highlights from the event last year.
In America, everybody is a hyphenated American. You're a Black American, you're a Native American, you're an Asian American, you're a real American. In South Africa, you're not just Black or white, you're Zulu or Xhosa, you're English or Afrikaans. And so language becomes a key marker of identity and can be a powerful tool for both inclusion and exclusion.
They're not just yet another technological innovation. They are us, but without our limitations. Difficult to imagine, but it's coming.
What I'm going to unlock for you today is that diversity is not just about race and gender. Diversity is actually about the power of diversity of thought, because that's where the actual gold is. That's the silver bullet.
This is how I started the Dr. Answar Foundation. Who would have thought that this encounter would start a wildfire of events that up unto this day I cannot explain, but it has changed my life forever.
Then there's Damien, a grade 5 learner, who wrote a rap song about anti-bullying and made a music video at school, using his voice to spread awareness and to make a difference.
I stick the stain, I feel abused. Sick of saying these feelings of you. Wake me up when I get a little louder.
Good, sir. How you doing?
Thank you, sir.
100%.
Appreciate it, sir.
So, we talk about this, but it's very important, Marshall, for me to know, and the audience as well. Why is TEDx George so important, right? And how does that connect to the local community?
TEDx George is for me a way we can highlight Georgia and the Garner route to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
TEDx George is an independently organized TED event, but it's not TED itself. But we are licensed by the TED organization. It is a locally branded event. We are consequently right now the largest TEDx event in the Western Cape. And with that, we really want to highlight the Garner route. We want to highlight George, and we really want to put a lens, an international lens, on this area. It's very important, for example, for the local government, for businesses. We feel like, hey, look, let's bring those euros and those dollars and those pounds to this area by bringing an event that really will enhance the local scene.
Yeah. And then I love that also because then there's the themes, right? And that's an important element. So last year, the kickoff was the brave ones, right? And now this year it's Shift. And so I kind of like that transition. Speak to us about why it's also important to bring it around this theme and kind of the vision around that.
So, what we believe is the brave ones actually shift atmospheres. The brave ones are the ones who shift the way that we think. The brave ones are the ones who turn the tide of a war. The brave ones are the ones who really push the boundaries because they're the ones who actually are the first to go out there. So we believe that what is that shift mentality? What is that shift idea that those brave ones are now bringing? So we have quite a few speakers this year. I'm very excited about our lineup. And they're going to just change the way that we think. Yeah. There's still small little shifts. I think Nelson Mandela talked about how one small drop can ripple across the whole pond. Yeah. One person told me, oh, it's just a drop in a bucket. Somebody told me that. I said, well, at least it's a drop.
Exactly.
Because it could be nothing. So as long as there's something happening, although it may take forever, although it may take more than my lifetime, at least something is moving.
Yeah.
And that's what's most important.
And what I love on that point as well, Marshall, is the value of conversation and different views. And I personally feel sometimes that's a missing part in just the local region, right? Just
Right.
diverse opinions, diverse views. Let's have these conversations and engage. Why does TEDx kind of answer that question? Like, how do you feel it kind of fills that gap?
So TEDx is a platform to really not only, so a lot of people feel like TEDx is only about intellectual thought.
True.
But it's also about sparking one's curiosity, a level of debate. This year we're going to have a couple of controversial views on environment. We want to have a saloon on some social views that are a bit challenging to the norm, because it's meant to, again, change the status quo. You know, we really want to have people think differently. You know, if you kind of keep doing the same thing, you'll get the same result.
Yep.
Right? And somebody said that's called insanity.
Yep. Doing the same thing.
It's like doing the same thing, you get the same result, right? So if a person can put a spanner in the works, if a person can put a pebble in your shoe that changes the way you walk, then that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, that's actually, you know, and so I guess to then shift it a little bit, interestingly enough, to what people can look forward to, right? So we had a really great one last year, amazing conversations, all videos like the audience saw online. What can they kind of expect now differently? So what's the 2025 version of TEDx George?
This year, you know, our focus is those folk who are really changing the narrative. For example, we have we did announce a speaker, so let me just kind of
Like, so go check it out.
We have announced our speakers officially. So for example, we have Lorna Scott from Inverroche. She is actually going to be talking about how sound and silence shifts the way you think about your environment. It allows you to really reconnect with, you know, how we perceive nature and ourselves, for example. We have Dr. Tatunda. She is a researcher at Nelson Mandela University. She has a PhD here in George. She's going to really challenge tree planting and whether or not if actually planting trees is hurting our environment or hurting the climate, because we focus more on the carbon cycle, which is, you know, CO2, global warming, but we don't focus enough on the water cycle. If that kind of brings you back to your grade 4 science, the water cycle is just as important as the carbon cycle, so she's going to talk about that. We have Luigi, and he's going to talk about guitar making. We have Raquel, she's going to talk about, she's a South Magazine photographer. She's going to talk about nature and photography. So we have some really great folk coming in this year
as well. A key thing, and you know, we spoke about it earlier, Marshall, is it's not for your assumed very intellectual individual that's, you know, a particular ilk. It's really community based. It's for your student, your CEO, and I think it's really important for us to also communicate that message across. That like TEDx George is a home of ideas, and everyone has those ideas, and everyone is welcome into that. Tickets, process, how can people get involved? How can people that want to be in the community, how do we get them roped in?
Definitely visit our social media platforms. Visit our website, TEDxGeorge.com. Tickets are on sale. In fact, we have a bit of an early bird sale right now to the 15th of August. So please check that out. If not, you're going to miss out. But tickets are there. So we're going to have some really great stuff. We have some really great sponsors. We have Hawthorne Hotel is one of our sponsors this year. They're going to be, you know, very much involved. We have a number of other automotive sponsors that we're working with right now as well that we'll announce soon. But yeah, we're going to have some really cool stuff this year.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it right here. TEDx George is all about community. It's about people. It's about ideas. And every single person has ideas. What we really want to do is shift, and you can be part of that community. October 11th, 2025. We didn't mention October 11th, 2025, but George Arts Theater. It's going to be good.